Hey TPT sellers, happy Mother's Day. I have an exciting extreme Mother's Day gift for all the TPT sellers who are moms, or the TPT sellers who have a mom, or maybe you know a mom, pretty much everyone. So hey TPT sellers, I got an extreme present for you. Super excited. This is going to change the game again. TPT gives us these product statistics and we can click download to Excel and we can download what's called a product stats CSV file, comma separated values file. We can do lots of fun things with this file, but the problem with the product stats that we download from TPT is that it shows us the lifetime stats for our products. I mean, sure, we can use this easy TPT data tool and we can get a copy of a Google Sheet tool. I can upload my product stats CSV file. I can click on show paid and I can tell that my reading mega bundle, if I look at earnings per week, it earns on average $135 per week. The conversion rate is 2%. The preview rate is 21%. And from the product stats CSV file, I can say 1 out of every 5 people who look at the product page decide to look at the preview. And of the people who look at the preview, well, 1 out of 10 people end up buying it. So there's room for improvement. I could try to improve my product preview to see if I can make it instead of 1 out of every 10 people who look at the preview buy it. Maybe I can get 2 out of every 10 people. Crazy, right? But it's hard to see if my recent efforts are working because the TPT product stats is the lifetime stats of the resource. So anything that I do right now, I can't tell because it's averaged out over 4 years of data. What if there was a way that I could see the product stats for this reading bundle for the last week or the last month or the last year and not the lifetime span? Wouldn't that be epic? Actually, it'd be extreme. Welcome to the Extreme TPT Product Stats CSV tool. If you save multiple TPT Product Stats files, so basically every time you update a product, just download your TPT Product Stats CSV, and eventually you get a collection of them. Then you can use this Extreme tool to see what your conversion rate was last week or last month, and what the product preview rate was last month. So let's check this out. You go to afreesellertool.com. You scroll down and click download the advanced version. You subscribe to the SEOTpreneur newsletter. Now you'll get an email with a button, and when you click on the link, Google will offer to make a copy of this Google Sheet tool. So I'm going to click make a copy, and it's making my very own copy. It's not shared with Mike. It's not shared with anybody. At the very bottom, there's a tab that says Epic TPT Product Stats. That's not what we're using today. We're using the one that says Extreme TPT Product Stats. And it's very boring because there's nothing loaded yet. It says this tool requires the data locker. Now, if you don't have a data locker file yet, no problem. Go to freesellertool.com, scroll down and click on watch videos. I see here it says how to use data locker. So I'm going to click on that and it'll take me to the video where I talked about how to use the data locker. Now on your own, you can watch this video here, learn about the data locker, learn how to upload your TPT product stats CSV, learn how to connect it to the data tool, and then learn how to upload your TPT sales data. So all of the information is all there step by step. I have a bookmark here in a folder called Mike that says data locker. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to have my most up-to-date product stats CSV file. So I will upload that. I just click on TPT product stats CSV all. I'm going to click in here and I need to go to the bottom. I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut control down. There we go. So I jump to the bottom there. And I'm going to click in the first row underneath the column here with a number sign. I've already downloaded my product stats CSV file today, so I'm just going to upload it in my data locker file, import, upload. I'm going to browse to the file. I'm going to upload it. I'm going to change the location to replace the data at the selected cell and click import data. And then I'm going to delete this header row by right-clicking on the row, delete row. Now I have to insert the date. Today is 2024-05-12. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go back up there. I'm going to copy that, Control C. I'm going to hold the Shift key down. I'm going to press down on my keyboard and go all the way down to the end of this file. I make sure I don't let go of the Shift key because that means I can select a range. All right. And then I went too far. Still holding down the Shift key. I'm going to use the up keyboard and then the down keyboard to get it just right. And now that it's there, I'm just going to go Control V to paste in the date. So the date's in there. So my data locker is ready. I'm going to click on the URL I'm going to go Control C to copy it. I'm going to go to my latest version of the data tool. And I'm going to go to the very top here where it says Start Here. Right. So now that I'm on Start Here, I just scroll down and there's a section here where I can paste in the data locker. I'm going to right click, paste special, paste the values of the data locker. I'm going to hit enter. Now, in order for this data tool Google Sheet to connect to the data locker, I have to give it permission. So if I hover over this purple, it says you need to connect these sheets. I'm going to click allow access and now it's loading. Now, this will take time depending on the speed of your internet and the speed of your computer. I can see here it says adding permissions. Up here at the top, there's a blue progress bar. And if I scroll down here, I can see that it's finished loading because I see some numbers here. The last date in the products.csv file is May 12, 2024. And the first date I have is December 31st, 2022. Gotcha. So now the magic begins. I'm going to go to the extreme TPT products.csv. And now I have a bunch of data. Okay. Now it's very boring here. I have a bunch of error messages with divided by 0. And that's because the range is from Sunday today to Sunday today. So there's 0 days in this range. I'm going to change the date from today. If I click on this arrow, all right. So I'm going to change it to this month so far. And what the extreme products.csv tool does is it looks in your data locker to see, okay, what's the closest products.csv file that you have between today and the start of the month? And in my case, it's Wednesday, May 1st. I have a products.csv from that date. And today I have Sunday, May 12th. So this is 11 days. All right. I want to see how my reading bundle is doing. I know my reading bundle is product number 45 in the CSV. So if I just type 45 here, it'll filter it and just pull up the reading bundle. But most of us won't remember the number. So I'm going to sort my earnings downward and I can see that it's my top seller. Here it is. It's number 45. In this month so far, from Wednesday, May 1st to Sunday, May 12th in 11 days, my sold rate for this resource is 2.7%, but my preview rate is 43%. If I go back to the products.csv that we looked at the beginning, this TPT products.csv is for the entire lifespan of the resource. And based on the whole lifespan of the resource, the product preview rate is 21% and the sold rate is 2.1%. So this means the extreme TPT products.csv let me see that actually the change I made in the product description is making people want to look at the product preview. Has it increased the sold rate? Only marginally, I guess between 2 to 2.7. Well, I guess that's like half, but for those of you who believe in having 300 page views before you make a decision, that school of thought would say, well, I only have 187 page views during the 10 days, so it's not enough to make a decision. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's say I don't want to see this month so far. I want to see the last 90 days. So I click on last 90 days. Interesting. So I actually have so many products.csv files that I actually have it from Monday, February 12th to Sunday, May 12th, and that's 90 days. In the last 90 days, I can see my sold rate is actually quite low. It's 1.2%. So is this timing? Is it the time of the year? These are things that you'll have to think about specifically with your products. Now, the extreme products.csv won't work as nicely like this for you unless you have a products.csv file saved. So chances are when you look at this, it won't be the exact dates. I'm going to try something like this week last year. Okay. So this week last year should be going from Sunday to Saturday, but I don't have Sunday, May 14th saved in my products.csv files. And so then the extreme tool just found the closest date. And if I want to double check the work, beside the 11, there's a plus sign. And if I click on that, I can see what the exact date should be if I had all my products.csv files saved every day. And then it shows me the closest date. So that's kind of cool. Let's close 11. This is how my reading bundle did this week last year. It has 5 days of information in here. So it's going from the Monday of this week to the Saturday of this week. And at that time, my sold rate was around 2.4% and my preview rate was 30%. Maybe the preview rate is just higher this time of the year, and maybe it's not because of something that I've done. Super cool thing. Click the plus sign beside row 20, and now I have a visual diagram of my sales funnel. Sometimes there's too much information on here. It can be very overwhelming at the beginning. I'm going to close this tab that says paid and free and the sorting filters. And there's just a minus sign beside the 24. So I'll close that. This funnel is for all of the resources that are filtered here. I just want to see what's happening in my reading comprehension bundle. I'm going to open up the plus sign beside 24. Let's close the visual side. And I'm going to filter it so that we just see resource number 45. This is the 45th resource I've ever made. All right, so now it's filtering just by this resource. I can see the total number of page views here is 295. I'm going to close the filter window and I'm going to open up the visual window. And now I get a very quick visual sense of how my product is doing. So of the people who land on my resource here, okay, look at that small percentage of conversions. That's not good. Like, I'm kidding myself if I say, oh, okay, 1 out of 10 people who look at your preview buy. Well, that's good. But compared to all the people who are landing on my resource, I think I need to do better. As my friend Andrea will point out to me in our Saturday Hangouts on Zoom, yeah, my cure conversion rates are really low. So clearly I need to do a better job in my previews of explaining what's in my resource. And maybe what that means is taking out the full product previews and just leaving the sales copy really. So that's the Extreme TPT Product Stats tool. It's free. Some of you will be able to watch this video and do exactly what I did. And that's the dream. Some of you want shorter 5-minute tutorial videos. Yeah, it's on my radar. It's on my big list of things to do. But in the meantime, some of you will watch what I just did and you'll want to be able to do this, but you learn best if you're able to ask questions and interact with the teacher. Everyone learns in a different way. So for those of you who prefer a classroom setting, I have something exciting for you. If I go to SEOTpreneur.com and click on workshops, check it out, TPT data workshops. So last week I talked about a basic workshop, and thank you to everyone who bought the early bird. That encouraged me and let me know that I'm heading in the right direction. So I have created, if I click on current workshops, I have created 4 separate workshops depending on your skill level and what you're hoping to get out of this. So if you see what I do on the channel, but computers are not your thing and you want me to go a lot slower and step by step, first let's click on this. Okay, everyone click on file. All right, now that we clicked on file, let's click on import. Okay, everyone clicked on import. Your screen should look like that. So if you would like a class at that speed, awesome. I have a tech newbie course for you that will go over the simple version of the TPT data tool that's available for free on TPT. Now, some of you might learn at a faster pace than that. You don't have to be a computer expert. When I'm here on YouTube, this is edutainment. It's education and entertainment rolled into one. I talk quickly. I'm exciting. But the online course is more education than entertainment. So we can slow things down. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours long. I know that's long for some of us who are still in the classroom, but to be honest, this isn't like your regular PD that you do at school that you have to do. This is professional development for people who want to do this on the weekend and they have to pay to do this. So we're going to get people who want to be there. So bring coffee. I'll bring coffee. And this workshop, course 1A, is the exact same as course 1B, but it assumes you know how to use a computer. You're comfortable with Google Docs. You don't have to be a Google Sheets expert. And we'll learn how to use that TPT Product Stat CSV tool. And we'll learn how to sort it by earnings per week to look for hidden gems, resources that maybe you've published recently and actually are doing quite well, but maybe you didn't realize it. And we'll talk about how to fix the things in red, and we'll talk about the theory with the sales funnel. The workshops are designed with 5 minutes of Mike explaining the theory and demoing the skill. And then you get a chance to do it with your data. And then we regroup and we talk about what questions we have. But when we get to talking about, well, how do I fix the stuff in red? Well, let's look at your resource. If my product preview resource rate for my everything bundle is 0, and this is one of the resources that does well for me, well, how can I increase this product preview rate? Let's look at it together. Let's look at the resource, talk about what the theory says, and then get ideas from the group. I'll share my perspective, and other people in the group, they can share their perspectives as well. So that's course 1. Course 2 and course 3 and look at the advanced TPT product tool. So if you watch this video and you're excited and you want to play with the extreme TPT product stats CSV tool, but you don't want to watch that other video to figure out how to create this data locker tool because you learn better in a classroom setting and you can ask questions, then you want to sign up for workshop number 2. I'll walk us through how to set up your data locker. We'll import a couple of product stats CSV files. We'll import our sales data, and then we can play with the 10x dashboard and the Epic product stats tool, and then the extreme product stats tool that we just saw today. There's so much in the advanced data tool that I had to create another workshop called the Advanced Customer Behavior Workshop. So only people who have an up-to-date data locker are able to take this workshop. And that means you either took course 2, where I walked you through how to do the advanced data locker stuff, or you watched the videos I mentioned at the beginning of this video and you figured out how to do it on your own. So this course number 3 is super cool because here are some questions that we're going to answer through the workshop. Another TPT seller left a review. I don't know their name. How can I figure out what they bought? Well, we have an advanced sales search feature that does some pretty cool things. Or you might want to know how your product line is doing in terms of product stats and average earnings per week, because we all experiment with different product lines, but some product lines do better than others. So we can figure out what proportion of sales are because of this product line. And that helps us figure out if we should keep going with the product line or pivot. And we can answer these questions with the Strategy Friend tool. Maybe you want to know which products sold well this time last year so that you can tweak them and polish them up and get that TPT store activity SEO boost. Well, the top 5 dashboard lets us figure that out. And you can see here why it's important to have an up-to-date data locker. My sales data is not up-to-date in the data locker, so that's why there's no information for this week. In this workshop, we'll start to figure out, well, who are the people who are buying our resources? And we're looking for patterns or trends or outliers. So we can actually look to see what resources people are buying in different states or different countries. How are my sales in Canada or the US doing? Or which states tend to buy my resources? And what does that tell me about my customer audience? Finally, the last question we can explore is, do people who buy my lower price resources come back to buy other things? Or we can look at our big bundles and see what other resources did people buy before getting that big bundle or after getting that big bundle. So I can see, using the magic filter, people who bought the everything bundle, well, I can see that they also bought these other resources as well. So if you're curious about the workshops, check out SEOTpreneur.com. And there are some question and answers. And no, you don't have to take a TPT data workshop to use the TPT data tools. If you have time, read about how to get this information for free. And on a free seller tool, click on watch videos and you can jump to the section that you need help with. In business, we pay in time or we pay in money. So if you don't have the time to watch all those videos and you just want me to walk you through it, please check out the workshop page sooner than later because there's only space for 15 to 20 people. There's a promo code that lets you save $20 with the early bird pricing. And I have no idea if I'm going to do this again in the future. Maybe it'll be a huge success or maybe not. Let's find out. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe so you get more TPT seller tips like this. And we'll see you next time.